Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the UP. I am Brown Sugar, and today we're previewing the conference championship or the conference championship games for the NFL coming up this weekend. And my ass has been getting handed to me on these. I'm bombing on these right now. I feel like I'm taking way too many hot takes on games, but I don't know. I really believe that the Ravens were going to actually outplay the Bills, and for the most part, their defense was. I for some reason they just couldn't do shit like in the passing game at all. Like Lamar crumbled, and it was bad. It was very bad. So that defense looked really good against the Bills. If that offense was just on par with like how they normally would play, not even like playing to that amazing standard that they were held to last year, then they probably would have won that game because they were in it for a good majority of it. That defense held them in, and then Lamar got knocked out. But wow, yeah, hot take. So I'm just going to revert back to my original Super Bowl pick of the Chiefs, um, and I'm just going to stick with them. But so let's just go hop right into it. This is going to be the later game on Sunday when the Bills go to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is at practice again, but is still in concussion protocol, practicing in limited capacity. I have no reason to believe that he won't play Sunday. It's looking like he probably will play Sunday. If he doesn't play, then it's probably going to change the dynamic of a whole lot. But here is what I think is going to happen in the Bills and Chiefs game. So the Bills really weren't handling the Ravens all too well on offense. I mean, eventually with all the chances they kept getting and the way that defense was definitely going to be gassed after being on the field for so long with 3-and-outs, short drives by the offense, they're eventually going to get tore up. The Bills still have absolutely no single running game at all, and it didn't look like they can protect against a running game. So it's not looking good for the Bills, in my opinion, defensively and offensively. Just like in those certain aspects, Patrick Mahomes, if he does play, even if he's going to not be like a totally 100%, there are a lot of really good solid options on that team to that's going to help him carry him. Probably the best receiving core in football right now. And when I say receiving core, I guess I mean like pass catchers. Tyreek Hill, fastest man on the fucking planet, it feels like, who always busts one open for 70 plus yards a game at least. Then Travis Kelce, best tight end of football. Then Sammy Watkins. No, fuck Sammy Watkins. But they have a really good core of catching players who catch balls. Got Le'Veon Bell out the backfield, Edwards-Helaire. So I really think that this is going to be a game where the Chiefs just excel. Even if Patrick Mahomes isn't playing to the normal sharpness that he does play at. Vegas has the game at Chiefs -3, which I honestly would take for them to cover. I don't think they're going to blow them out. I think it'll be a high-scoring game, a shootout, because neither of these secondaries are really too great. I don't want to say they're bad, but they're not too great either. I probably would expect Patrick Mahomes to be making some mistakes, maybe a turnover or two. It's going to be interesting to see how well he holds up, considering last week when the Browns almost killed him. It seemed like, granted, he was jogging to the back room, to the locker room. He was fine. I was like, it's a concussion, So, hopefully with that quarter and a half off and all that whole week, practicing, because he's been practicing the past 2 days now, if I'm not mistaken, in limited practice, but still remains in concussion protocol. So I have no reason to believe why he wouldn't play. Josh Allen, I would probably take to have a pretty good game again, along with Stephon Diggs. But I'm telling you, if you guys watch the Bills and the Ravens game, that offense wasn't really chugging as well as what we thought they were going to be. They only won 17-3. That defense is a good defense, and they held them down. Josh Allen was looking to get people involved and like he found Stephon Diggs, but outside of Stephon Diggs, nobody else was really making plays on that team. Um, I guess John Brown, he was doing okay. Well, 11 targets, 8 receptions. I think it's the same as like Stephon Diggs. It's just different yardages between the two of them. But no, I'm telling, it's like unsettling that, you know, between two backs there was 9 total attempts and only 29 yards to show for it. Josh Allen had 7 rushes as well, just for 3 yards. That's honestly going to be something troubling looking forward. Granted, I'm not saying that the run defense of the Chiefs is going to be on par as the Ravens, but you know, if all you're going to be able to do is pass, if you're going against a dynamic offense such as the Chiefs, where you know they're not going to be held to 3 points, that defense isn't going to hold them to 3 points. In all honesty, that Bills defense against Lamar Jackson, they couldn't stop the run, and I don't understand why they kept going away from the run so much, but the Ravens had a lot of opportunities there to take control of the game. It just wasn't a good outing for Lamar at all. He had like, what was he, his passer, not his passer rating. I bet that wasn't good, but he was barely completing, like he wasn't even completing 60% of his throws, and that obviously is a big deal. I was watching that game, and a lot of those players, there was quite a bit of drop balls, so I'm not going to put that all on Lamar, but there's definitely some opportunities that he should have taken, and he really needs to get better at just knowing when there's like nothing there and just throwing the ball away. I don't understand why he doesn't just throw the ball away more often instead of trying to make everything into a play. That's something that he definitely needs to work on. I know he's like constantly like improving his game because he has like a really great work ethic. And if you just talk, like if you just listen to him talk, you know, he's like a great kid, and he has, I call him a kid, but he's older than me, so barely though, kind of scary. But you know, I think Lamar, he'll come back and have an even better year next year, but it's not neither here nor there at the moment. But that Bills team, only 17 points to show for. 17 points is not going to fly against the Chiefs. Granted, they're not going up against as great of a defense, but even if you give them like another touchdown in a few, like if you give them like 10 more points, 27 points against the Chiefs. Chiefs are a high-scoring offense, especially in the postseason. We already know what what Patrick Mahomes can do. This is going to be something where the Bills are going to have to get going early, and they're going to need to get a run game going. You know, 9 attempts between 2 backs is not going to cut it. They need a more consistent run game, and they have a pretty decent offensive line, but they really are going to need to get a run game going if they want to have a chance against the Chiefs. I still think it'll be a fairly close game. Like I said, Vegas has the Chiefs at -3. I'm going to take the Chiefs to cover in that. I keep losing money on my bets for fucking football, so I'm almost glad that the season's almost done, because I'm literally making money on bets only from fucking football or basketball right now. So, yeah, I'm, like I said, Chiefs over Bills, and I'll have them as my Super Bowl favorites again, because I'm still not 100%, like I said, I'm not sold on the Bills still. And I think this past weekend is evidence on why people shouldn't be sold on the Bills 100% yet. Like I said, only 17 points to show for in a game where that offense of the Ravens struggled severely. Like they had so many chances to score, and every single time that they got into the red zone, you know, it was a fucking doinked field goal, or fucking Lamar Jackson had a pick six. So, you know, what they weren't going against a good offense, and they were going against a good defense too, but with the amount of opportunities that were given for them, 17 points to show for definitely isn't a good sign. I don't think they're going to have a bad game against the Chiefs, but they're definitely not going to have a really good game to the point where they're going to beat the Chiefs. But you know, that's just my take on them and this weekend's game. Who knows? Like, I've been so far wrong on a lot of these picks. Like, I feel like I'm only getting like the ones that are obviously going to be right. So, what did I say? Like, I was giving like upset percentages. I only say the Bills probably have like a 10% chance to upset the Chiefs, and that's only if that 10% chance is if Patrick Mahomes does play. If Patrick Mahomes doesn't play, I'll give him a 40% chance to upset. I'd still take the Chiefs and Chad Henne to lead that team. So, oh, I actually just got a notification. Mahomes good to go for Sunday. So yeah, he's been cleared by the NFL's concussion protocol. So it's going to be Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen, and it's going to be a great game. It's going to be I'm very excited to watch this game. But like I said, it's going to be a 10% chance for Josh Allen and the Bills to upset them. I definitely expect it to be a high-scoring game, but I'm definitely taking the Chiefs to cover that -3. Moving on to the NFC, where the Packers will be hosting the Buccaneers. Something I keep hearing about is the forecast of the game, so I'm going to look up the forecast for the game. Does it not tell me? Ooh, snow showers at a high of 28 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 22. There's a 40% chance of precipitation, so it's going to be a cold game. So I'll definitely take the Packers to win. Earlier this year, they were embarrassed by the Buccaneers. I would definitely say they're a lot different of a team now. I wouldn't say they're as physical as what they needed to be to beat them, but earlier this year at least. But, you know, this is a team that has made a lot of great strides down the stretch of the season. Aaron Rodgers playing probably perfect football right now, and that you really can't say that too often. He's literally playing perfect football. The same thing that I say every single week. They're two Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers to Davante Adams dependent. If somehow the Bucs found out how to shut that down, which I doubt they will, if Jalen Ramsey couldn't stop Davante Adams. Well, actually, I don't even know the head-to-head matchup between the two of them. I do know that Davante Adams had a very nice game, but between the two, it didn't look like Jalen Ramsey stopped him, and there's obviously nobody as on par with Jalen Ramsey in the league. And definitely not anybody even close on the Bucs. So I expect a big game. Actually, with the snow showers, I don't know about a big game, but another great game for the two of them. With Aaron Jones, probably, if it does snow, probably look for him to carry a little bit more of the load. You know, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady is used to playing in the cold weather, being in New England, but I know that Antonio Brown's not playing this week, so that might be cause for a little bit of concern. I know he's finally got a really good connection with Mike Evans, and he's getting a better connection with Chris Godwin. He still has Gronk, but the fact that Antonio Brown isn't going to be playing is a little bit of a disappointment and also slightly alarming, just because they have really good chemistry, the two of them. It's like when he played that one game in New England, they just had like instantly like clicked. And when he came to Tampa Bay, you know, they were still clicking. Obviously, he's not going to be like that first option anymore, even though he still has the capabilities to be. But with like all the talent on that team and just getting signed onto that roster, he wasn't going to be the first option, or even he's barely the third option, I think, behind Scotty Miller, or even if you include the tight end Gronk or Brait too. So, anyways, he's not going to play, but that's going to be a safety blanket removed for Tom Brady. So if they do get behind, if that offense is struggling, you know, he's not going to have that. That's the guy that I trust. I can toss the ball down to him. So I think that him and Gronk would probably have a pretty good connection going this game. Cold game because those two are used to it. Evans, Godwin, you know, just about a lot of these guys who are used to playing in Florida weather, going to 28-degree, probably colder with a wind, possible chance of snow in Lambeau. You know, I don't know how well these guys are going to play, so we're just going to have to wait and see, in all honesty. But it's going to be, I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be pretty close, I want to say. What does Vegas have the odds at? They have Green Bay taking at -3.5. I think that's probably a safe bet, in all honesty, for them. But Packers and Bucs, I'm definitely going to take the Packers to win this one. I have no reason to believe why the Bucs are going to. I know they demolished them earlier in the season, but I'm telling you, I don't really think that that's going to be the case here. You know, they were a high-scoring offense, even in the postseason, surprisingly enough. And in all honesty, how many of us saw the Bucs going to all the way to the conference championship? I think a lot of us thought they'd be in the divisional round for sure. And quite frankly, if Drew Brees wasn't that quarterback last week, if they had Jameis Winston playing, they would have won the game, plain and simple. And I don't know why they let Drew Brees play the whole fucking As soon as fucking Jameis Winston came in and threw a fucking 75-yard touchdown, I would have just left him in because neither here nor there, neither here nor there. Last week, but the Bucks, like I said, I don't think any of us had them in the conference championship. But they got hot late in the season. They went on a nice little roll. They went on a 4 game win streak after their bye. So they ended the season on a good note. Steamrolled the Washington football team, and then in the second half they really didn't give New Orleans. Actually, they had to come back against New Orleans if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that right? What were they down by in that game? I'm looking right now. Yeah, so they were down going into the like early in the third quarter. They got down by a touchdown, but they tied and they ended up winning by 10. So I think that was probably more to do with like Drew Brees' like poor play and not so much as their defense. I mean, kudos to the defense. I'm obviously going to give them props for like making plays on him on the ball and stuff like that. But like Jameis Winston came in for one play and threw a 75-yard touchdown. It's not that great of a fucking defense. So it's definitely not going to be a defense that's going to stop or slow down the Packers offense for sure. Packers are definitely going to win, in my opinion. No reason to believe why they do. But hey, who knows? I'm going with safe picks this week, even though there's like only 2 games to choose from. I'm going with safe picks, and who knows? Maybe me endorsing a team is like the kiss of fucking death. But the Buccaneers, I hope it is a good game. I think this does have potential to where Green Bay outright just wins and like handles them thoroughly without any sort of like chance of like, I don't know, can they come back, or oh wow, the Buccaneers are leading them. But because last week they looked very sharp against the Rams, Green Bay did, with against a good defense. But I don't know, like I said, I don't think that this is going to be a game where they're going to even struggle, at least on offense, which I don't even think they struggled last week. Like Aaron Rodgers, like 2 touchdowns, and Devontae. Oh, that's not Devontae. That's Lazard. Oh wow. Devontae Adams had 66 yards and a touchdown, but yeah, now I'm definitely curious on how Jalen Ramsey did matched up against him because he only had 66 yards. But he did have 10 targets on 9 receptions, so I don't know. He could have just been doing a couple dump off balls, but a thing that is a little alarming to me that stood out from that last week's game is the fact that they have the Packers have a good pass rush, but it doesn't seem like they defend the run all too well. And the Bucks have Ronald Jones, who has emerged as a solid back. He could be your starting running back on a good playoff team, as we're seeing right now. And obviously Leonard Fournette, we know how good he is, and Leonard Fournette a physical back too. So it might be alarming because if it is going to be cold, they're obviously probably going to want to rely on the run game a little bit more and have Mike Evans be a little bit more of a physical a physical presence. Doing some like quick outs or some slants, cutting across the field, stuff like that, to where he's going to absorb some hits, yeah, but he's also going to be doing some damage in that cold, like brittle air against the Packers defenders. But if he's going to be up for it, we'll wait and see. But Mike Evans, big guy, great receiver, tough dude. So I think there's the potential for them to give the Packers hassle, which is why I said 3.5 for the Packers I think it's a safe bet because they have every reason to be. But going back to that run defense, I don't think that run defense is going to be. I don't think it's been that good like all year. It's been just okay. But if Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette do get going early, and Tom Brady can just like be comfortable, it's definitely going to be a very tough day for them. It's not going to be as easy of a win as it should be. But another thing that does stand out to me is how well the Bucks get to the quarterback, 4th in the league for sacks. So they are going to, if they can get to Aaron Rodgers at least Like if they can get into his face like quite a bit and maybe get like 2 or 3 sacks on him, I think that definitely is going to be a significant game changer. Because last week, a lot of the fucking the Tampa Bay drives in which they scored touchdowns were off of Drew Brees' interceptions or turnovers or whatever. And they're not going to get those kind of interceptions against Aaron Rodgers. He just doesn't make those kind of mistakes. I'm not saying that he's immune to making those mistakes, but he obviously just doesn't do it. He has 50 touchdowns and 5 interceptions on 70% completion percentage. That's just insane. That is insane. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers does he just has never made mistakes like that, and it's not going to all of a sudden become like, oh, I'm throwing interceptions, I'm making mistakes. It's obviously not going to be like that whatsoever. So Aaron Rodgers is, they're not going to have that opportunity in which they were having last week against Drew Brees, where they had like 2 or 3 interceptions and they scored off of like I think 2 of them or all 2 of them or all 3. I don't remember in all honesty, but they're not going to get those chances because because like I said, when they picked them off, they're already on the other side of the field. They're at least within field goal range, and that's obviously going to make like it a lot easier for them to score. The defense is going to be worn out too because they literally probably just got off the field, and the Packers just don't make mistakes like that. They don't turn the ball over a whole lot, so that's something that they're going to have to figure out how to be consistent in putting together drives. And I think that does start with the run game, with Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette being physical, because that run defense is not going to I don't think it's going to be enough to stop them. And obviously I've talked about how tough they are as a defense, like physical, like toughness, and they're just really not all that tough. So I think it's going to be something where the more the game goes on, if that run game is a viable option for Tampa Bay, to where they're not having to throw the ball like 30 to 40 times in that game, it's going to be something where that the game could come down to a wire. But that being said, I really like to. It makes it sound like I'm going to take the Bucs to win. I feel like, because I do that a lot when I pick games, where like I just like kind of rag on the team that I'm going to pick. But I don't know. That's why I think I do that, because I see the potential for them to lose. And I don't want to. Oh, they're just going to outright bid. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, Packers over Buccaneers at 3.5 is a safe bet. And I'll go ahead and have the Packers cover. So I'll go ahead and take the favorites to cover this weekend. So I'll take the Chiefs to cover the 3, and then I'll take the Packers to cover the 3.5. I'm really hoping that they're both really good games. They both have potential to be great games, like shootouts. Weather dependent and how well players from Tampa Bay respond to it, that has the potential to be. I think that has the better potential to be a blowout, but I really hope the Bills and Chiefs game is a shootout for sure. Both quarterbacks are great, and they have tremendous arms, tremendous mobility, just in terms of being quarterbacks. Great play calling too with Andy Reid, and then I don't know if Doug McDermott, Sean McDermott, I don't fucking know the Bills head coach's name. I don't know if he calls the plays or the offensive coordinator, but whoever's calling the plays for the Bills calls really good plays, but definitely would need to see a better execution this week, because they're not going to have that same stagnant offense that they played last week with the Ravens. So, all right, those were my picks for the conference championship. I swear, I really hope that this is some good picks. I hope I'm 2-2 this week, because I'm going to put money down again, as I've been putting money down. I don't think I've won ever since the playoffs started. I've not won a single one of my bets. I mean, like, I do some straight bets, and obviously like the favorites, yeah, but like I'm not like making like a whole lot of money. I'm making like a fucking like nickels and dimes, it feels like. But I'm gonna have both of them to cover the point spread, both the favorites, Chiefs and Packers. And well, guys, let me know what you think. Let me know about how badly I suck at calling picking NFL games. I think going with the favorites this weekend hopefully does me some justice. Watch both home teams get upset, and we got Packers and Bills in the Super Bowl. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'd honestly be very upset with myself if I fucked that up. But hey, guys, I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in and listening, and hope you enjoy these picks, and hope you look forward to hearing more of my content. Go ahead and check out other episodes. I've been doing the whole NFL playoffs. I did the NBA Finals last year. Have some NBA stuff coming out here soon. Like I said, when I get a little bit more thicker into the season, and I think we're at the point now where it's like genuinely like we can tell like people who are separating themselves from the pack. But that's going to be a topic for another time. But guys, thank you so much for listening. And until the next UP, guys, I will see you when I see you. Take care.